All right, everyone, welcome back. My name is Pritesh here with Kaizen Crypto, bringing you another video. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. As far as NFTs in the Cardano ecosystem, lots of anticipation about what's to come after Goguen and smart contracts. So lots of platforms are now being built around this solution. And joining us today to talk more about their platform called Token.io is Lathison and Valentine, who have been building Token.io as an NFT marketplace where users can mint, sell, and trade their NFTs. So guys, very excited to be joined by you both today. How are you all doing?
I'm great.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. So I guess just jumping right into it, just to get started, could you tell us a little bit about your backgrounds and what is Token.io?
So maybe I will start. Originally, I'm a graphic designer. I've been an art teacher, and now I'm a product owner, product manager, and a UX designer for a French company. So the project started actually because we saw many things about the tokens. It was not NFT rush at this point. There was this space coins very fun project that showed up, and in fact I'm putting all my assets in Frog's pool, and I have been chatting with people on Frog channel and say, oh, I have an idea, I would like to make some NFTs, and I think we can do that without smart contracts so far. And I started to draft a little something, and then people say, oh, we might be interested, and they jumped in and we started to build something. This is how it started.
As for me, I'm a senior software engineer. I work for a marketing company. While Valentine was doing this sort of idea, talking about, hey, let's do NFTs and inspired by the space coin momentum, I was in parallel kind of looking at, I was actually watching the same space coin video when Rick and Kyle was airdropping them. I was in the chat asking them, what can we do with it? It was quite interesting for me. And I walked away from that video thinking, oh God, this is interesting and easy. I want to do something similar. And I started building like a game app around it. And one of my mutual friends between Valentine and myself said, hey, this guy is talking about building an NFT marketplace on Telegram. Do you want to join in and have a chat? And then I saw the diagram and what he's trying to do, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. I know I saw the space coins hype when it first happened. I was like, okay, this is starting to catch on a little bit. At first we thought, okay, space coins are a cool way for people to start getting used to these native tokens on Cardano. But it seems like now there's entire communities and ecosystems that are starting to adopt this ideology. So it's really cool. It's amazing to see what's really possible. I guess as far as what you guys have planned with your platform with Token.io, so I guess, is it specific to non-fungible tokens, or are we also going to see a marketplace for things like space coins and other fungible tokens?
So we're trying to do this in stages. So the first goal would be, like our first go live process would be to allow anyone without any technical skills who are aiming at artists, who's going to be creating these assets, to be able to easily log in and then just mint their NFTs and then withdraw it and host their own sales however they wish. And in stages, the next step would be to actually enable them to actually list it so that other people can see it and buy it. And the obvious next step would be to actually accept any arbitrary assets to be loaded onto the platform. So it doesn't have to be minted on our platform. It could be someone who just snagged one of the early rare space buds or one of the crypto nitties. They might hold on to it, but they need a trusted platform to sell it. That's what we're hoping to offer. So hopefully by the time we're done with our platform, anyone will be able to load up any assets or even mint it and directly sell it from the platform.
So one of the challenges we actually had was we started to draft some meta, and we digged a little bit about what was doing other platform about meta. And I have been trying to get into conversation about how make the perfect meta and the more flexible and the one. And this is when Adam Dean from Buffy showed up and say, oh, I have many ideas. And he helped us a lot by digging and trying to find out the right meta the right meta structure, and we're pretty happy with what we have, because I think it will be very flexible, and we can plug in many different assets at some point. Yeah. So that was very challenging, but very interesting.
I would like to give him credit also as the KRONO CLI wizard. At times I've been just like, why won't this mint, why is this API doc so confusing? And I started to appreciate our platform much more for people who just want to get in. Like, this is a lot of, the CLIs can be tricky to work with, especially if you never heard of it for a non-technical person as well. And he's been very helpful in saying, how to work with it, how to optimize things, and he's been very instrumental.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I use tools as an SPO. Adam Dean has definitely contributed like so much to the ecosystem. So absolutely, definitely a big shout out to him. And I know what we're talking about right now is a little bit more of the technical stuff. But I guess from an end user standpoint, I guess like how is token.io different from other NFT platforms? I mean, as far as an ease of use standpoint.
Well, I guess the first thing I thought about when I drafted it is, we will probably have a lot of crap if we're not making it a little bit clean. So my first idea was putting out a moderation system, like a community moderation system. And then we dropped it a little bit for being technical, and then we saw many different platforms showing up. And the first thing that we saw was very ugly and dirty stuff popping up in the NFTs on Cardano. And then I talked to the team and say, I told you I wanted to have moderation. I think that might be very important at some point. And then we thought about it, and by that time we had many artists that joined our Telegram group, and we thought, okay, we have this community here that do quality content, so we can make a community qualified artists that will showing up in our platform. They will have like a whitelist specific accreditation, and this is where we started to switch moderation by more partnership with artists. But then we thought we would have many users that wouldn't be able to use the platform. This is where we sort of thought, okay, we could have everyone having their own page, a little bit like Etsy in a way. They could promote themselves. That wouldn't be related to the main marketplace where all the whitelist listed artists would be. And they could continue to do their own markets, and then we wouldn't have to do some moderation too much. And then we thought that maybe they could make some proposal to even being whitelisted if they have recurrent quality content, or they could submit some art to the main wall. This way they would enter the main artist feed. This way we would be, in a way, controlling the quality content. And that was the idea.
So in a way, to answer your question in a few words, I guess, it's, even though it's difficult, if you know how to read the documentation of the Cardano document node spec, it is actually fairly easy to mint an asset. Like, you could be up and running within, it took me 1 day to get that basic version working. I think I had a working version of that asset builder within like 1 week from the moment that Mary Hardfork happened. So of course, with the help from Adam Dean. Obviously, we could have gone online and made a website for it, put it up there, and it's not something we did, because while we were building it, we were thinking with the long term. It's not just a minting platform. We want a marketplace. We want people to be able to buy, sell, trade, and actually not like, why does it have to be just NFT? Why not fungible tokens? What if somebody wanted to create their own space coins but don't have the know-how, but they have a use case behind it? So we were thinking long and hard about doing things properly, and this is where we're still not on mainnet, even though we could have been on the mainnet months ago. And the biggest problem, biggest thing we'd like to set ourselves apart is that we want to focus on quality on the assets rather than just any asset, like any open floodgate. If you think about it, a very high profile artist wouldn't necessarily want their art to be listed next to pornography. that's just one example of the bad content that was uploaded in one of these rush to market projects. But think about any worse thing could have been uploaded, because there's no central moderation. So the way our partner program intends to solve this is that we will vet personally quality artists, and then basically give them a free pass, so that means anytime they mint, they are automatically able to list their asset, and it will show up publicly on our platform. But if you're not one of those whitelisted artists, what that means is you can still have your own sales, but it would be private. That means the only way to see your asset is somebody knew that URL, similar to sharing a Google document with a share link. So only people with the link can see it. Yeah.
One of my concern is, what if Charles Kinson want to sell his tweets on our platform, and then he wouldn't be whitelisted? So the solution is he has his own role, and then he can
the easiest whitelist ever.
Right. It's like we'll have to look for that blue check mark, like how what's on his Twitter page.
So in fact, what you say is pretty relevant, because there is also one thing that we can do with smart contracts is we can validate some authenticity. This way, we have in product to have the sort of blue check mark on the arts and on the artist, to make sure that, because of course you can imagine that you can take the image from IPFS and then drop it in your own NFT.
Just to add quickly to that, like the only real unique part about an asset on the blockchain is the policy ID. But an average Joe wouldn't know that, oh, this policy ID, even though it's called spacebar 410, is not the same as the one that is genuinely minted. So the thing that we're trying to solve is, part of this platform they're trying to build, how can we come up with a system that would actually let people verify, oh, I am the artist? And without going too much into the details of how it would work under the hood, we do have plans around to actually offer this as a functionality.
And this way, the platform could even be used as a verification process. I'm buying a Spacebuds, then please send me the policy ID. You drop it in our platform, and then it's okay, this NFT is legit, so it can go forward and sell it.
I'm also thinking of actually, this is, even though it's a nice feature that would be unique to our platform that probably others won't have yet anyway.
Now we've talked about it. Everybody will implement it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed some of these catalyst proposals starting to look very, very similar to what we've been talking about. But at least we have our public history and Telegram dating back days ago when we were talking about this. What's interesting is I thought about it, like, this is a cool feature to give buyer confidence. This is similar to Trustpilot. When you're buying a product, you're looking at the score and reviews, and then that's how you trust that you can relatively trust it. But with blockchain, it's a binary. Is either trustable or it's not. It's nothing. There's no gray area. So if we can provide this functionality to our application, it makes it easier for people to buy trusted assets. But also, why should it stop to our service? We were actually thinking of opening this up for free, so we can probably partner up with some of these asset explorers. One example would be Pool PM. There's a Cardano assets.com and things like that. So imagine offering our verification data as an API, so these guys can hook into it, just like in Twitter, so they can show an asset being translated through their system, but with a blue check or without a blue check. And it would be an opt-in system, so original assets minters will be able to come in and say, oh, I minted this, this is the policy ID, and these are, here's proof that I made it, and we'll be able to validate it and then actually have it part of our database.
We have been forgetting to say something. We have our partner, Liberty Crypto, that said that he might give away some space coins buds if someone are dropping. I don't know if you allow us, Pritesh, to spam your wall with addresses, but he has been saying, okay, if you want some space coins buds, we can make a. Are you okay with that? Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, like, are you like trying to do a giveaway or?
Yeah, correct.
Pretty much.
Bit of a promotion.
Okay. Bit of a promotion.
This is what Liberty Crypto. I'm thinking we have to talk about it before the end of the show, because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Yeah, sure. Basically just drop your wallet address in the comments, like and share the video, and Liberty Crypto will anonymously airdropping you some Space Coin Bucks NFTs. hopefully these will be worth millions in the future.
Well, that sounds like a good deal to me. I might have to drop a comment on my own video.
Exactly.
We have to
We'll be
thank
right
him a
there
lot
with you.
because he has been helping us a lot by meeting people and putting all the things together. So big shout out to Liberty Crypto that is very helping many people to advertise on their project.
Absolutely. So guys, we'll definitely be sure to do that. That's no problem at all. So as far as what we've talked about so far, I mean, as far as what I'm gaining from it, it's that you're creating not only a platform, but also a way for like profiles and a way to be able to verify that the policy ID for these NFTs that are created are actually verifiable and that they're, you know, that they are correct for each specific NFT that's created. You know, let's say for instance, Space Buds, you know, they get huge all of a sudden, right? What's to say somebody doesn't create a spin-off of that? But what's going to differentiate the legit from the non-legit is that unique policy ID.
Right.
So that's something that's very interesting. You know, I'm curious to see the functionality of that, because now what we're seeing, you know, not having smart contracts hasn't really stopped anybody, right? We've got this Discord service, you know, we've got these escrow services now happening, almost like a makeshift marketplace, so to speak. But I think that's something which you guys are actually addressing with your platform. Let's say that somebody has an NFT that they like to sell. They have to basically trust that that person has the legit NFT. And then that's, of course, what's leading them to use these moderator services, which definitely does involve a certain degree of trust. So, you know, what you're doing with your solution, I think it's very interesting. And I'm kind of curious to see, what does the functionality look like now versus when we do actually see smart contracts?
So at the moment, when we're doing some testing on the testnet, we've literally just launched it yesterday. So if you go to our website, link in the description, hopefully, you'll be able to just click through, sign in with your GitHub account and just start minting straight away. So this is, we're using this to gather metrics. How's the system holding up versus is it performing well? Are there any errors people running into, any common issues? This is going to give us the sort of like the production ideal setup for our launching, with basically minting NFTs and FTs, and then withdrawing them back into your own wallet. So at the same time, while we're building this, we've been researching into, as Valentin mentioned before, how to do an optimized NFT structure that is flexible so that it can support attributes, you know, like Spacebud style. You can say, here's a Spacebud has an attribute of left R with these contents on it. So like it would be truly flexible. So we couldn't, it's very hard to come up with an NFT metadata structure while being flexible. So I think we arrived at it. But we had a second requirement for it, which is, it not only has to be flexible, but it has to be supporting something called a serialized NFT. So if you think of something like a deck of cards, you may have one image or one art, but that could be, from that, you might want to create a smaller in value, but many limited quantities, like hundreds of these. So I think we found, in fact, with the help of Adam's research, we found a way to do probably like 100 unique assets in a single UTXO transaction, while paying the minimum amount you can pay in terms of transaction fees and min UTXO values. So it's a matter of then taking this research, just like Cardano does it, slow and steady, then apply it into the platform. So what we're going to do now is go live with the platform, hopefully by the end of this month or beginning of next Q2, so that people can start using it, then slowly start adding in these features that's been sort of in the backlog, has been researched. In the future, the next obvious step would be to actually introduce the sale functionality, so anyone will be able to sell it. You know, you touched upon this middleman escrow business. That's what our system is essentially trying to replace. We don't, take away the human element out of it, let a machine do it with a bit of verification, so that you can see that, oh, this is the actual asset that, you know, Spacebud was minted, or this is the one that one of our premium artists that minted it, and then buy in confidence. So there's no human involved, and because we're able to remove the human element out of it and everything's automated, our fees are very low and it's comparable.
Yeah, that's one thing that we saw when we saw popping up some platform this way. We thought they were very expensive. The first one I saw was 10 ADA.
No, it's 20 ADA. I saw one too. It's crazy.
So I was thinking, okay, it seems that we can definitely be cheaper. So that's one thing. I think we have been trying to lower the cost to try to find a balance between viable product situation and also not really taking too much more than necessary elements from people.
If I could just quickly add something before we forget and then skip this part, just so we're clear, our platform charges 2 ADA for minting, regardless of whatever you want to mint. And when the sale functionality is ready, artists will be able to basically set a percentage of what they want to charge in terms of royalties. So this is something that we've been thinking of offering even before smart contract, which would have been possible if you only had smart contract. Yeah. But there is a caveat. Because this is enforced by our platform, this is only possible if the trade happens on our platform. But when this is how the difference will be solved. When the smart contract arrives, that functionality will just be ported to smart contract.
But how this is in a very artisty ecosystem? We're willing to have the goodwill of the users, that knowing that every time they will make a transaction in our system, part of the transaction will go to the artist. Well, they can go outside, but this way there will be shitty people. Sorry for them.
You have to trust that whoever you're trading is genuine. Yeah.
So we're betting on goodwilling, and because our we wish to do a quality service and quality platform. Maybe it won't work, but at least we will have tried.
The capability certainly will be there, but it's up to the user if they want to leverage it. For example, if they said, "Hey, well, you just got a space buds, right? If you want to sell it, but if I sold it through here, our platform's going to charge a sales commission of 2.5%, right? So I don't really like that, but then I want to just sell it to someone who wants it so I can keep that 2.5%. Then it's up to the user. Do I trust this person that we can just swap it between wallet? What if you send the asset and then they never pay you back? Now you're stuck. So having a platform like ours in the middle, and then you load the assets up and then you put it up for sale. And then if the other person has the ADA, then the exchange happens. And if they don't, then your asset is still safe. It's, you just simply withdraw it back. So
in a way, we provide this escrow system, and we avoid people from being robbed by not getting back what they want.
Exactly. So these 2 ADA that we charge for the initial minting, as well as the 2.5% for the after sale commissions, all of these basically is going to be paying all of our development costs, the hosting and the usual. There's a lot of things that, for example, all of our assets are stored in IPFS, so we went for a hosted cloud solution for that. So that with the user base growing, that bill will quite be significant, things like that. So it's basically factored in. So it's not expensive that is crazy to use, and it's not cheap or simple that anyone can imitate.
I see. Okay. All right. And that kind of leads me into my next question. I know that we had talked a little bit about this before we had started our conversation, but as far as the roadmap and, talking about Project Catalyst and where you guys see the project, I would say maybe within the next few months and then maybe within the next few years, what are your plans moving forward?
So I guess we want it to be working a little bit before putting in Catalyst. We want to reassure ourselves that we're in the right way. And this is why we're going slow, because we're doing UX feedback, and we're doing charge feedback to make sure that everything sort of works the smoothly as possible. So at some point with the team, with all the people that have been helping us with decisions, we have been thinking, oh, do we go for Front 5? And then we were sure we wouldn't be ready for them. So we might think, if things go smoothly, we might think about going for Front 6.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Pritesh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as the amount of proposals we see now in Catalyst, it's like there's so many things happening. And definitely a lot of things related to NFT marketplaces too. So, we'll definitely be.
Sorry, I was going to say there's a huge interest. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that we don't want just to go. We haven't done that for the hype. At least I haven't been starting that for the hype. I was missing a tool that I wanted to have. So the hype came after, and we were, oh my God, this is huge, and everybody wants it, and everybody are paying. Well, if we're surfing on a hype, of course it's okay. But if the hype goes down and we're still seen as a platform that has value, this is what's interesting for us, I guess. So we're not rushed. We don't want to rush. We want to do things right.
I mean, I've been looking at some of these proposals, you mentioned, and I'm trying to see, well, in every proposal, they have to outline what are they trying to do and what is the money for. And realistically looking at it, there isn't anything that we would benefit from in terms of money from the proposal if we were to supply for it, because between us, we will be able to get the system up and running. It's something that's going to be interesting to us is once we have a platform that's being utilized, then we want to scale. At that point is when I think there will be true value, because we wouldn't be able to scale without smart contract functionality and then actually solving large user base problems like that. So I thought we were going to do it at Fund 5, then I saw all of the proposal that came through, and if anything, it would have looked like we were copying them rather than others copying us. And I mean,
I remember, Suresh, I remember the first time we saw a proposal, because we have been starting like as it was only SpaceCoin, really almost when SpaceCoin showed up. So we were kind of early, and the first proposal we have seen was, oh, they're copycatting us. Oh, and then we say, no, that's the normal course of things. And but the first and as said Lathian, at some point we will probably share our best practices at some point. So what I like about about Cardano is the way that, mostly for what I have had the feeling, and I remember that because I have been following your show, Bloom's show, and Cardano FX show that is gone now, from even at the start. And what I really liked about this community is the fact that everybody was sharing interest and helping one another. And the fact that Adam helped us the way he did. And the fact that Kai say, okay, you can share your ideas in my world, and all this goodwill that I see in the Cardano community is awesome. I really like the dynamic of the community. This is something very, very unique, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And it's amazing just to see the amount of growth we've seen in the community just from not even a year or so ago. And we got some big news today with what's going on in Africa, and it's like there's just so many things. It seems like almost back-to-back announcements now, and it's like it's amazing to see.
Hopefully, I think I posted this on one of the tweets Charles posted. One day my goal is to have your signed autograph being minted and being sold on my platform. And today I think I'd like to add to that goal. Immediately after going live, I'm going to be aiming to get at least 100 of these students who are in Ethiopia to come on our platform event. I think that would be the true mark of success. We made it possible for someone in Africa to just log online and just mint one of their cool artwork and just put it up for sale.
That would be awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, definitely enjoyed this conversation. I know it's been a little bit technical for a lot of people, but I think that for the most part, people are excited about seeing some type of NFT marketplace. Very excited also. I wasn't expecting a surprise giveaway, so that'll be really cool. Big thank you also to Liberty Crypto. I know he's been doing a lot of cool stuff, and he's been very gracious enough to introduce us so we could have the opportunity to talk. So guys, as far as the giveaway, I guess if you're able to just leave a comment, we'll be sure to enter you to win to that. Should be pretty cool. So Lathian and Valentine, any last remarks today, guys? Where can people go to find out more about token.io, and how can they learn more about your platform?
Yeah, on our website, we have a landing page. You can just sort of see some demo screenshot, and with the help of Liberty, we put together like a tutorial video. So even before you get your hands dirty, you can sort of watch it and prepare yourself. Okay. okay, what am I getting yourself into, to see what it looks like. And we put a rough estimate of the timeline of where we are, what's been completed so far to get us to where we are now, and then where we're going to, looking ahead in the future. So all the information on the landing page, and then there's a little button that says go to testnet app, hit that, and you can start using it immediately. And as for the last remark, I would just like to say a thank you to fellow team members who's been with us, Suraj. I'm afraid we don't know his real names. He just goes by a code name, Coal Fireman. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten him. And of course, Adam Dean and Liberty. And also like to thank Anthony from Loonpool. So he's been working with us. He's going to be working with us on a sort of second iteration of how the front end looks. So he's going to be helping us with the front end side of things. And we're trying to work out a strategic partnership with him down the line, but nothing's official yet. But I don't want to forget him also. So thanks to everyone who's been helping, and check it out. I think you like what we have to offer.
I wanted to jump back on what Lativan said. So on the homepage also, you have a link to our Telegram channel, and people are very active on it, and we share a lot of things. We are different stakeholders. And this is the gateway to get into the artist whitelist too. So if you want to make some partnership with us and you think you have quality art and good concept, so the way we channel the partners is very like having like a regular art, some really professional artist or very people that are very constant in their work. So the jump is you can go in our Telegram channel, and then you can send us a link to your work or your portfolio, and then we can discuss if you want to partner with us and join the small partnership that we have. And they're very active too, and very helpful too.
I mean,
so thanks to them.
Yeah, ideally what we're looking for is someone, who's established on a social network media, building up a hype behind them of a potential drop they're trying to do. So if they if they want to partner up with us, we get mutual benefits. So it will bring users to our system to have a look at what we have to offer and actually buy things safely for them. From an artist perspective, their art will be whitelisted, so it will show up publicly on our website. So it's for mutual benefit. And we do post live updates of the things that are happening, the decisions we're making. So we're very open about it and transparent about how we work. So feel free to join our Telegram, and
That's incredible. That's really cool. Well, guys, it was a pleasure to learn more about token.io. I know I'm incredibly excited with all these NFTs and, to see a marketplace now with what you guys are trying to do, implementing it correctly. I like how you're taking your time with it. So it's going to be very exciting to keep up with your project. So guys, Latison and Valentine with token.io and NFT Marketplace coming to the Cardano blockchain. Guys, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank
Absolutely.
You. It was nice to have this conversation with you. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Take care.